Ah, yeah, good stretch. Okay, so 19th, eh? 19th. So yesterday, HeroGrinch constructed a massive fan. I wasn't personally a fan of it, but there you go. Uh, so I wonder what he has in store for me today, because I just assume at this point, I mean, we're 19 days in, and we haven't been able to really get our hands on any of the presents, have we? So let's have a look and behind the 19th door and see what awaits us on the other side. All right, let's have a look. Doesn't seem to be anything. Oh, of course, a massive construction crane. Huh. Oh, I can already tell what's gonna happen. Oh no. No. No, please no. This isn't some claw machine. Go away. Go away. How many days? Oh god, how many days is this gonna happen? It's gonna be Christmas soon and I wouldn't have opened anything. No. No, go away. Stop taking my presents. Oh, this is just dreadful. How does he even come up with all of this? How? Like, oh my god. Yeah, well, bye. Bye, present. Again. Oh, it's going down. Oh, will you have some cargo truck on the other side of that or something? Or are you just going to tear it to pieces? You hear me? You hear me, HeroGrinch? Let's go back to the log cabin and enjoy some cake. Just disappointed now. So guys, time to look behind the scenes of today's episode and have a gander at the command blocks. For the past couple of days, I've been showing off sort of different animation styles and what have you using entities. And so today I decided to take just the clone only approach. So this entire thing is just done with clone commands instead of entities. Well, not entirely without entities. There is an entity here and an entity here, which I'm going to tell you about right now, which are important. The entity here is called body, because it's the body of the moving part of the crane. And the entity down here is called head. And that is, of course, the head of the crane, the thing that picks things up. Also, how do you like my horrible design of a thing? I need like a builder to come in and just rebuild this. I think it serves its purpose, so it serves its purpose. So down here, I'm actually going to run through this step by step because it is a step by step thing that happens. But down here we have our activator, which is sponge. Once we detect sponge, we'll start doing things. It will start moving and whatnot. Down here in the ground, we have a piece of wool. This will become relevant in a second. And of course, there is bedrock right here. That too is rather relevant. So starting our journey through the redstone, we start down here, which is the detect. So we detect for sponge, then we remove the redstone block that was detecting for sponge because we only want to activate this once. Then we place a hopper here with, I think it's a piece of stone or something in it. What's inside is irrelevant. This is just for the hopper clock here. And then we set a redstone block here. So each of the columns in this row is a check to see whether or not it's done the task. So what we need to do to complete the whole show of events is we need to move the whole thing out, the crane body and head out. We need to move the head down, then the head back up because it's picked up the present, then back in, and then down again. And so that's our sequence of events for this animation. So the first thing we activate by going over the sponge is this hopper clock, and this hopper clock will constantly output a signal to this set block command, which will constantly set a redstone block here, which then removes that redstone block. Of course, I could have probably just outputted this straight to this, but I built this first, then I added this on afterwards, so it's like a legacy thing. It's just left over. And then this runs a series of commands. So every time this hopper clock activates, it runs a series of commands that allows us to move this entire unit forwards 1 block. The first thing we do is we, at the armor stand called body, so at that top bit, we detect whether or not there's air -2, which means essentially it checks whether or not there's air in this block here. Checking that there's air there means that it has not reached the end, so it's just there to stop it going off of the edge and out of the world if we decide to activate this one too many times. After that, after it's moved the physical body of it, it will then teleport the armor stand that did that clone along with it. So it'll move this whole unit. So this iron block will be here, and then the armor stand, which is here, will be where that iron block used to be, and where the command block now is. If you follow me correctly. And then we do the exact same thing, kind of, with the head, the claw part. But in this case, we're checking for iron, because remember, we've already moved the body. So where there was air, there is now iron. So checking that there is iron, we do a replace move command, which is designed to clone everything here, and including this iron bar and everything down here. So it's all running from this command block pretty much. I've put those there just to mark out where the armor stands are. And then it will move that whole thing 1 forwards again. So this whole thing will keep moving. It will keep moving until the exception is found. So what we're doing here is we're constantly waiting to detect stone. So once the body detects stone, so once it has reached this stone block up there, we know that it's reached the end. So we do a bunch of things to stop this line from running. Let's see. First, we destroy this hopper here. That'll make sure that no more signals go to this, so this will stop clocking. Then we start the next clock by underneath this furnace. We will put an item in this hopper, essentially. After we've placed an item in the hopper, we will remove the redstone block from down here, so this is no longer checking anything. And then we will, let's see, we'll start up this repeater command block, so it can start checking for its exception. And now we go down to the down part. The down part is a little bit different from the others, because it happens in 2 stages. The first stage is literally these first 2 command blocks. As long as we have air 8 blocks below the claw, essentially, we just keep going down. And so eventually it will run into our present, which will be this wool block here for the demonstration. Once it's run into wool, we have a separate list of clone commands that we do for the wool. So we're detecting 8 blocks below for wool. And so once it starts running into wool, we start, instead of cloning, because you see I'm not just cloning the claw, I'm actually cloning 2 blocks out and 1 extra block below. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm essentially cloning it like there is a present already in the claw, but all I'm doing is moving the air. But once we get down to the present, if we keep moving the air will start deleting the present. That's not what we want. So what we've got is we've got clone commands that just clone this strip of the claw here, this strip of the claw here, and this strip of the claw here. And actually we also set more iron bars above the entity as well, which we do here. We set 3 blocks above. If 3 blocks above is air, we'll set it iron bars, and if 2 blocks above the head, which is the claw, I should have called it claw, it would have been more helpful. If 2 blocks above our air, we set it to iron bars. So we make sure that everything always is iron bars above that, so it'll always look like it's attached to the crane body. Doody-doody-doo, where are we now? Ah, yes, so it goes down doing that clone until it can no longer detect wool. This wool block here is just an extra wool block, and what will happen, this extra wool block is, because we're detecting 8 blocks below, it would stop short. The claw would stop here. Sorry, yes, it would stop here, and that's 2 blocks, but we want it only 1 block to be hanging underneath. So this is just an aesthetic thing. So I put this wool block here so it would detect the extra wool block, and it would go down 1 extra block. So it would just run flush here. And our top command block, then, because you don't see it on the floor after it's rising back up, it actually sets that to snow. So it detects, and as long as that detection is bedrock, 8 blocks below, because remember it's moved 1 more down, so it's down here. So if this is bedrock, which of course it is, we turn this into snow. So fancy stuff here, fancy stuff. Up is much more simple. We do once we've detected the bedrock, by the way, that's what we use here. Once we detect the bedrock, we start pulling the head back up using the same methods. We start the clock, and it starts moving up. And all that is literally just a clone command. We clone the present. We clone the present up and the claw up just as long as we detect that there's iron bars above us. And it will self-delete the iron bars as it moves up. So it will go through, cutting through the iron bars right up until it reaches the top and there's only 1 iron bar, because it won't detect an iron bar here anymore. Then, of course, that will be done. We detect, I believe, an iron block. So once it's no longer an iron bar and it's an iron block on top, we know for a fact it's gone all the way up. Then we go all the way in using the same method as we used out, but we're detecting for this stone block. That's when we know we reach the end. And then we go all the way down again using the exact same thing. So if we go through this, so I've got a redstone block here so we can watch it happen. Going over that, we'll start it. It's broken this. It's activated this. We'll see this starts to move over. Command block's working here, ticking away. Now we've broken that, so we've detected that we got to the end. It will begin lowering itself. So right now it's just cloning from the air. None of these will be, look, see, failed to execute. It says right here, failed to execute. But down here it will say teleported armor stand, because it's successfully activating these 2 commands. Now it should be on, yep, there we go. We're cloning 6 blocks, which means we're cloning these 6. It gets to the end. This is turned into snow, as we can see. It's starting to carry this up, which we're on here. Up. And then once it gets to the top, we'll see it switch. There we go. Switching, so now it's moving in. Also, it's nice because it spews these stone blocks everywhere. Which I quite like. It's just, it was irrelevant to remove them. I didn't need to. And now it starts moving itself down until it detects a piece of bedrock. There we go, and it detected a piece of bedrock. That's how you know, because it places that snow there. And that's the entire operation complete. If we go back over here, we'll see that all of the hoppers have been removed. All the redstone blocks have been removed. All we need to do, replace hoppers down this line, slap down another redstone block, move it back into position up top, and we can run this as many times as we want. So I hope you guys could follow that explanation clearly. I know it was quite long. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, hopefully. Yeah, so see you guys next time. Bye.